You're listening to Alabama Tradition with Ryan Fowler and Martin Houston on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa. 27 SEC titles, 131 first-team All-Americans, 70 postseason appearances, 39 postseason victories. This is Alabama football. And this is Alabama Tradition with Martin Houston and Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
So we welcome you into an extended version right here. One more hour. We are live on the air, right? This mic is live. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are here, and we're waiting the Big 12, an announcement that could come at any minute. If you want to jump in, you're welcome to do that. Max Olson reporting out there, big Big 12 guy, National College Football reporter. He's also reporting, as reported by Drew Davidson at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, that the lean is that the Big 12 could release revised conference schedules tonight if the conference presidents take no action in their meeting. They're meeting currently, the ACC, and when you back up a couple of minutes, the ACC and the SEC standing ground saying that we're going to play the game of football unless there's medical things that uptick. We've talked about the reaction, the Big Ten. You look at the Pac-12 canceling, so you've got 2 and 2, right? We're watching it closely in a battleground region. It could be the Big 12. I mean, how crazy would that be? If you want to get in the conversation, we'd love to have you. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. We're going to do this extra hour and have a chance to cover a lot of different headlines, but I'd love for you to participate. Help me get through this final hour as we look at the headlines, waiting for just a couple of minutes, and we get into it. You guys ever look at these fake Twitter accounts, and you look at, like, this Bruce Feldman fake Twitter account? It's not Bruce. It's a fake account that pretends to be Bruce, and they're putting out all these crazy tweets like Nebraska's looked at the SEC, which is not true. Let's go to Tommy over in Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon, man. You're in the game.
Hey, Ron. How are you?
It's a great day to be alive, man.
It is. My sinus is a lot better. I don't sound like I'm talking through a tube anymore for right now.
I got you. So you had a sinus infection?
Well, no, I guess I became a bad boy again. We got a tractor fix. The first time since I had my accident, I really got on a tractor in the last 8 or 9 days. I have been a happy little pig in the mud.
I got you.
And I guess I got my hay fever going on my allergies. But you know what? It's been the last enjoyable 9 days, I can tell you that.
Gotcha. Well, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It is. How many teams are in the ACC? 14 or 16? I can't remember.
No, I don't think there's that many. Is there?
So there's 14 like the SEC or not?
I do think it's 14.
Okay. So SEC got 14, ACC got 14,
and the Big 12's got less. I'm counting.
11? Okay. I know they have a lot less.
Yeah, it's 14 and 14. 14 from the ACC. Your Big 10 has 10, so they have a 9-game conference schedule, which they play everybody.
All right, that's 38 teams. You'll pick up other schools who's in a little smaller league from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. You'll have 75 schools wanting to play football in the fall. I believe that. I'm going to tell you this, and you can record this. In the next 48 hours to 96, they will start ripping everybody from the Mason-Dixon line below. Like, they don't care about their players, blah, 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 this and this. All they care about is money, and you're going to hear the slave mentality again. All they care about is the guns, the Bible, and the football. They don't care about, you'll see that from the national media. Trust me. I mean, if the ACC, SEC, and the Big 12 do what they say, the softball last spring. They could let the fans not come, and they still can play the game because they're really non-contact sport.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit lost. Help me catch up one more time. Now you said why didn't they play softball last?
Yeah, spring baseball. And all the big leagues now want to play football in the spring. I mean, the flu season is coming up in December, January, and February. You know, all the flu and the thing, the pandemic's supposed to be down, and we dropped all sports last spring. We stopped it cold because we didn't know. Now we're going to stop all sports just to play football. I know it's a moneymaker, but, I mean, it's still going to be the flu season.
Yeah, I got you. But, I mean, right now, softball is so far from our mind, it's not even – I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No.
It just it's so far from – and you look at all the sports that benefit from a big football, it's going to be – I mean, could you imagine what it's like outside? I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Well, it's going to kill it. I mean, if they don't have football, they can't fund it. None of them, spring sports, like tennis, softball, baseball. All right? You think them sports are going to go head on with football in the spring? No. People are not going to spend money.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, and I don't – I mean, who knows at this point? But
well, like last year, the Big Ten, everybody dropped it. If you was a senior last year playing baseball or softball or any other sport in the spring, we wish you well. We're proud that you graduate, but we're not giving you your eligibility back. So,
well, it's going to be a huge conversation. I mean,
oh yeah.
Haven't even really discussed that.
I know I'm bringing other things, but if I was an athlete, parent, football, basketball, baseball, softball, gymnastics, why would I go to a Big Ten school? They don't honor their words.
Yeah, I guess it's always that option.
Well, yeah.
So there's a lot of repercussions from today's fallout. Hey, Tommy, good to hear from you, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
We've got the Big Ten canceling. We've got the Pac-12 canceling. We've got the ACC and the SEC doubling down and saying, hey, we're going to play this thing. As long as there's no medical occasions that rise up. Let's go to this Greg Sankey audio here. As we go back, Greg Sankey was on with Dan Patrick and said something, and we'll come back and discuss it. This is the commissioner from the SEC who's kind of doubling down, saying they'll play the game of football as long as there's no medical things that arise between now and then. We're taking phone calls also, 205-342-9904. Your reaction as we continue here. We're waiting for a Big 12, and it could come down at any minute now. Let's go to the Greg Sankey audio here. Greg Sankey talking.
Well, I certainly think
Go ahead.
Well, I certainly think we can make a case and have made a case that they're in a much more healthy situation, working out in our facilities with medical care, with health protocols around COVID in this new environment, compared to go lift weights at your local gym with who knows who's overseeing you, what kind of health expectations, what kind of workouts, what kind of monitoring. I think that's really, without a doubt, what we're continuing to do is to support the healthy return of competition. So we've had a busy few weeks. The NCAA has issued some national expectations. Last Friday, we announced health protocols that go beyond what the NCAA said is minimums. We're looking at third-party testing opportunities so that we can have independence, common reporting, common testing. A lot of work to achieve that, but certainly a part of making football viable. And our medical advisory group has said, yes, we can continue to go forward. Were that advice to change, certainly would be a stopping point. But the indicators are we can right now do what we're doing in a healthy way, and we're going to continue to consider that central issue, health, as we move forward. We hope towards competition with no assurances that actually will take place.
And so that's Greg Sankey, which really is in position to become the most powerful person if he's not already there in the college side of things. Looking at the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, a lot of people have called him out, and I think it's fair because I think the tone coming out of the Big Ten was always to cancel. If you listen to them, They kind of led that circus, if that campaign, cancel. The season needs to be canceled. And I think that they pretty much misled their players. We've asked that question on the Twitter, and I think it was overwhelming, like in the 95 percentile of people saying that the perception is that the Big Ten led their players along. If you want to jump in, we'd love to have you. We're waiting for a Big 12 announcement. There's no certainty that it will come in the next 45 to 50 minutes, but we've went another hour here. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew, good afternoon. You're in the game/Alabama tradition.
Ryan, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm incredible, man. Having a good day.
Man,
hey,
I tell you what, Ryan,
real quick, Matthew. Now another individual is confirming that it looks like the Big 12 is aligning with the ACC, the SEC, at least for now. Releasing the fall schedule would send a strong message. Looks like the Big 12 continues to get reports coming out of their area that they are leaning towards playing the game of football, at least initially. That's coming out of the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear that, brother. I'm glad to hear that. In fact, the reason I called, Ryan, is not only, you already know you do a great job, but I just want to get your opinion on something, Ryan. And I know you've been giving your opinion all day long, but just in case I missed it, I just need to get your opinion. You know, I'm traveling through Little Rock, Arkansas right now, and of course, listen to you. And Ryan, I just got to know, man. I trust you. I believe in you. You are my brother. I need your honest opinion. Is the SEC going to play some football this year, Ryan? That's what I need.
I mean, I've got to listen to what these guys are saying. I mean, right now, it seems that the positive direction out of it has been to play the game of football, has it not? I mean, it seems, and I think it's only fair to their players. You've got to explore every option that you possibly can explore. Matthew, if you had no intentions on playing, why did you bring those players back, bust their butt through those workouts?
Right.
It's unfair to lie to them, and I think the Big Ten has lied. Maybe not lied as a word, misled.
Well, I know you're a nice Christian guy and everything, and you don't want to use the word lie, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I agree. I agree with what you just said at the beginning.
And they did it for selfish reasons, because if they would have hit the panic button, Matthew, let's go back. We're sitting here on August the 11th right now. Let's say if it was June the 11th or July the 11th. Matthew, how many players would walk out of that conference, out of that school?
Right.
They wouldn't have had to make the decision about playing. Oh. But they didn't. They did not give those guys a fair chance.
That's right. The floodgates would have opened wide up, man. And that's why I wanted, and like I said, Ryan, I listen to you every day, even though I don't call much. But, and then I said, man, I got to ask Ryan this question, man. Are we going to have some football in the SEC? And, one thing I like about Coach Saban, and, I think some of these other guys are jumping too soon, man. They're jumping off too soon. Just wait and see how things are going to unfold here over the next, few days. But
Matthew,
anyway,
Matthew, do you need to make a decision what you're going to eat in October?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, we don't even know what we will be doing 2 weeks from now, 1 week from now. I don't know what I may be doing tomorrow. Now I know in late August I'm going on vacation. I haven't really told my boss that yet, but I will. If he's listening, he can get it turned in as an official notice, or he can get it today. I'm going to take a couple of days, and I'm going to do a couple of days, but I'm going to take me a couple of days too. So, because I just feel like that college football is going to get back. I mean, we've had and I've talked to medical professionals too, and the ones that you talk to, it said, well, at least don't we owe it to the players?
That's right. That's exactly right.
But now the Big Ten is going out there. The Big Ten is going out right now, and they're talking about these medical, discoveries that they were able to make. The SEC says, okay, well, if that's the case, won't you release them now? Tell us what you've learned.
That's right.
And we're going to find out if it's really out there. And because Matthew, I know Major League Baseball has had some ups and downs. We've got NFL training camps going on. We've got a basketball bubble, and that's a little different circumstances. But you back up a couple of minutes, and you think it's a lot of conversations right now happening in the world of sports.
That's right. That's right. Well, Ryan, look here. I appreciate you, my brother. I thank God so much for you every day. I listen to you. My wife loves you and Martin Houston. And hey, man, I appreciate you. Keep up the good work, brother. Man, God bless you. And I'll talk to you later.
Hey, thank you, Matthew. Appreciate your phone call. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. If you want to jump in, you got lines available right now. Waiting for a Big 12 announcement as we continue right here on the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama. Crimson Tide Sports.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's learning environments are designed for supportive networking and collaboration. With over 330 academic programs, GCU provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
You are listening to Alabama Tradition with Martin Houston and Ryan Fowler. Your connection to Tuscaloosa and the University of Alabama athletics on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
So we're going into the conversation here. The Big Ten, the Pac-12 have canceled. We are live for this final hour here. I know it's 5 hours of a marathon, but looking at a lot of different breaking news, we're waiting for the Big 12 to possibly release, but it looks like that multiple reports coming out of that area that looks like the Big 12 may side with the ACC and the SEC. So you've got the Big 12 looking at a possible side there with the ACC and the SEC. Coming out of the Star-Telegram is where we have to do this, but it's multiple reports now saying that there is a possibility the Big 12 may side with that. We'll see if the precedents change, and could we be looking at some of the conferences, like, everybody uses Nebraska because Scott Frost has been so openly, you read the press release. So let's go back here to Greg Sankey on Dan Patrick's show and the possibility of other teams joining the SEC. Is that a real possibility? Is it feasible? This is what Greg Sankey said about that.
So that report I didn't receive until about 9:30 last night as I was driving home from the office, and I have not spoken with anyone. I've seen a little bit of the social media activity since. We're focused on our 14 members and our 10 games, because what we've really done is to create kind of a quasi-bubble on our campuses for our teams to be healthy and supported really well, and a quasi-bubble with our conference schedule. And by moving later, really than anyone had at the time, to give those campus locales and communities the opportunity to welcome students back, which is what we do, by the way. It's this educational thing, despite what the cynics may think. We could then start later and control the ability to play. And Dan, that's been our focus. I was amused a little bit by the amount of activity about who was playing whom in my league, and I really wasn't aware that was taking place.
Wow. So there it is. A lot of things flying out there. Greg Sankey on Dan Patrick's show. We've played some audio as we've traveled throughout the day. There's also this stigma out there that we talk about the SEC being selfish, and I want to play this audio too. This is a follow-up to what we were just talking about, Greg Sankey, because the rumor is that automatically the Big Ten comes out, begins to put out statements And you back up and you say, well, why does the Big Ten care more? And so Greg Sankey kind of responds to maybe the image out there that you don't really care about your student athletes. And this is what Greg Sankey had to say.
Certainly. And, in the Southeastern Conference, we certainly compete, but we educate, we care, and we support. If we cannot compete, we will educate, care, and support. But we do that every day, whether we compete or not. We've been doing it since March. And I think that message is clear right now. We've not been playing games, but we've been educating, caring, and supporting. And I don't think there are quite the number of absolutes that perhaps others do in this world. We have never tried to do what we're doing in a COVID environment. It's simply another variable and a multivariable environment for us. And whatever we do, we're going to do safely. We're going to do in the most healthy way possible. That may mean some have to make decisions, whether it's support, whether it's the infrastructure they have. I think we have the capacity to support well. But again, we're going to go kind of day by day and make sure that that's in place, because fundamentally, while we want to compete, we are not going to walk away from educating, caring, and supporting young people.
So that's Greg Sankey, Dan Patrick, this morning. A lot of things have happened between now and then, but you back up a couple of minutes. I'll give you the commitment, okay? Charlie Potter reporting this from BamaOnline.com. Michael Jordan spoke to the University of Alabama football team a couple of minutes ago on Zoom. I mean, chew on that for just 1 minute, okay? Back up just 1 minute. Michael Jordan spoke to the Alabama football team. That's the dedication. I mean, Michael Jordan doesn't do a lot of these engagements, right? You don't see Michael Jordan going out here speaking to any team that he could possibly. Michael Jordan could speak to any group, any organization he wanted to. He chose to speak to the University of Alabama. That's the dedication that you see behind Nick Saban. We were talking about it with John Parker Wilson earlier about the catapult system of monitoring heart rate, respirations, all the different things that you look at. That, and I got to give Charlie Potter back there, but he broke that story a couple of minutes ago that Nick Saban invited Michael Jordan, and he accepted to speak to his team via a Zoom. So you have to ask yourself, did the Big Ten do everything they possibly could do to protect their athletes? It's a question we don't know the answer to. Ellis, you're next, and you're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is good. All is well, man.
It is.
I forgot to tell you when I took that test yesterday, it made me sick at my stomach. And I stayed sick at my stomach until this morning.
Well, I don't know anything that would, by taking a COVID test, would do that.
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't know of anything.
It couldn't have been coincidence. It couldn't have been this something else.
Was the cotton swab made in China?
I didn't ask. I know it come back negative.
Well, there you go. Then maybe it wasn't made in China.
I am COVID-free, Ryan. And I'm going to stay that way. Without a mask.
No mask, no mask, no mask, right?
No mask. And I'm going to stay COVID-free with no mask.
Well,
I love our coach, Brian.
He's a good one.
He's awesome.
Well, I just think they go out of their way to protect their athletes. As much as Alabama gets criticized, I think that I, as a media member, don't really understand everything they do to protect their athletes. I mean, I think I have a small grasp of it, but I think it's even more so than even what I'm predicting.
Well, like that interview with Nick Saban, he said, I know people are going to say things about me. And he knows, it's true, they're going to yak about him, but, he truly cares about his players, and so What about all this? They ain't no. What about all this breaking news? What do you think's going to happen, Ryan?
I mean, looks like, according to multiple reports coming out of that area, that the Big 12 may be leaning toward of playing and siding with the ACC. Now, C. Ellis, you want me to put my positive hat on here for just a minute?
Yeah.
All right. Yesterday, we learned the powerful voice of players around the country.
Yeah.
And we watched them speak openly of the hashtag we want to play. I think every athletic director owes it to those guys to give them, because really it was overwhelmingly that we want to play. We want to play. You heard that nonstop from big names. Even guys like Trevor Lawrence, who really hasn't, yes, he benefits from playing this year, but he's going to be the number one pick in next year's 2020 NFL draft, regardless if he plays it down or not. I mean, he's going to be the pick.
It's the love of football. It's the love of football that they've got, Ryan.
You saw it from Justin Fields. Now, unfortunately, today it was ripped out of his hand. Gone. So if you take a look at this, I think that yesterday was eye-opening experience for all of us to watch people take their voice on the Twitter side of things and take that message, and that's a positive sign. I mean, I think that's something that you've got to look at if you're an AD.
I like Najee's. Did you? But I didn't get to read.
Yeah, I thought Mac Jones had it too, man. I thought Mac Jones had it too. I thought those guys were incredible, and you really kind of see leadership forming, right? It may be a galvanizing moment for college football.
You just make our boys and our players and our team better.
Hey, Ellis, let me also, and that we're on the air, the Tuscaloosa City Council has unanimously voted, I'm glad to at least see them doing something good, Tuesday to change the name of a stretch of 35th Street to Investigator Dornell Cosette Street after the TPD officer killed in the line of duty last September. So they have voted to rename a stretch of 35th Street to honor the fallen officer that passed away last September. So that is something that's just now breaking. It's available more if you want to read more. TuscaloosaThread.com. TuscaloosaThread.com. So pretty cool.
What is this Tuscaloosa Thread, Ryan?
It's a new website that we have launched to cover Tuscaloosa from a hard news standpoint.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I need to follow that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And it's a great. It's a hard news. It's not. I mean, yeah, there may be some sports in there, but it's not. It will have sports intermixed, but it's not. It's hard news. It's more of what happens from a local climate. The fall of some of the local places, and you kind of see us kind of taking charge and. Got to be fun to watch these guys work.
It's something interesting,
What's news? It's hard news. I mean, you could probably go and read, about Joe Biden's big select today. Of, I mean, if you wanted to read it. Sorry, Ellis. I didn't mean to crack you up. Anyway, thanks, Ellis. I hope you have a good day, man.
Right, roll tide.
Right. I'm trying to be nice. I'm fair and balanced. Tony, hold through the break. You are next in Tuscaloosa. In 2 minutes, T-Town, Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's awesome. You're having no fun. Have some fun, man. Talking Alabama Crimson Tide football on Alabama Tradition with Martin Houston and Ryan Fowler in Tuscaloosa on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, final 20 minutes here. It's Alabama tradition. Martin Houston coaching his son at Northridge, and he won't be with me for a few weeks, but we're going to connect back with Martin and everything finishes up there. But we're looking at the Big Ten canceling, the Pac-12 canceling, and the ACC, the SEC kind of putting their feet in the sand, and we're watching the Big 12 reports coming out of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that there's a lot of leans towards the Big 12. Even Dennis Dodd saying that the Big 12 is leaning toward playing. Tony, good afternoon, sir. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
All is well. Excuse me. How are you doing?
I'm incredible, man. I'm very excited about Camellia Harris. I think that she will be
the Harris-Biden ticket.
Oh, it's going to be incredible.
Instead of the Biden-Harris ticket, it's the Harris-Biden ticket.
So,
because she's running for president. I don't think anyone believes Joe Biden is physically or mentally capable to be president for 4 years.
But she has a lot on Joe Biden, including complete sentences.
Didn't she call him a racist?
Oh, come on, Tony! Tony, that was back in the primaries. That
was
count.
Just politics.
Yeah.
That was just politics then. Now it's real. It's not politics now, but it's politics then.
Did she even make it through the Iowa caucus? Okay, yeah.
She got canceled.
And none of us even voted in there, right? That was all Democrats. I mean, none of us.
Who knows? It took them 3 months to count the 2,000 votes.
They're still counting in Iowa. They are.
There was 2,000 votes, and it took them 3 months to count them.
And they're still counting. That's facts. Go look it up. It's true.
Vote by mail. Vote by mail. It's safe. You got nothing to worry about. Trust the Democrats. They know about voting.
This bunch. Oh, my heavens. Anyway. All right, so here we go. Big Ten.
My dead uncle has voted Democrat the last 3 elections.
My dead uncle's planning on voting in November.
Oh, well, sure. He's a big contributor.
Major.
Hey, and I'm not, and I know it sounds like a joke. I'm being serious as a heart attack.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
Now, who is responsible for registering your dead uncle?
It'd be my aunt.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can
proud to admit it. She is.
How crazy is that in our country that we don't have a universal national system? When you die, you can no longer vote.
No, it's so important that it by any means necessary. That's party over people.
Yeah.
And that's what they live by. Okay.
And see, Tony, when you and I come on the air, I look at a lot of eyes rolling across the glass, but I'm going to bring these guys a Trump T-shirt, especially Paradise. He needs one. Can you connect me with somebody that can get some Trump T-shirts in here? I mean, I'm serving my cause. I mean, academia destroys the minds of our youth, and I'm trying to lift them up.
Look, they're the most intelligent idiot generation of all time. They're the most well-informed, moronic generation of all time.
Gotcha.
Because they're the most gullible. They're the most brainwashed, conditioned group of humans on this planet ever. And but because they're academia and everyone else in their media tells them, oh, they're so smart, they're so intelligent, you're so good, you're so great, life owes you this, life owes you that. They believe it. They refuse to look at both sides.
All right, Tony.
And it's sad. When I get on here, generally when I get on here and I do my ranting about communism and all, it's not for anyone but the people behind the glass. And the other people that are listening that are young.
Well, we're step by step. Tony, Big Ten canceling, the Pac-12 canceling. Where are you?
Well, we already knew they already leaked that. We already knew that was coming or whatever. And, and then the Big Ten commissioner lied about it.
Well, he even lied yesterday. He'll have to go and repent and ask for Christ to forgive him. But, You look at the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, which we learned from Barrett Sallee yesterday, your favorite guest, is that he's going to be –
Booger Boy.
He wants to be in the political side of things. So when you listen to the Big Ten, think about what they did. Via a spokesperson yesterday, well, we didn't have a vote. Okay.
I bet that vote went exactly as it said it went.
Probably 12-2.
Yesterday, today.
It did.
I bet that vote went 12-2.
Iowa and Nebraska. Yeah,
that's
voted,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Just as reported on last week, but they voted on it today. It doesn't matter. I mean, I will say this, that they are positioning. I know that you think that this is going to hurt them recruiting wise, and I say that the odds are much more heavily in their favor that it's going to help them when it comes to recruiting. Because the odds are
I mean, have we
enormous.
become that soft that it will actually help them?
Yeah, it will help them because there are going to be issues that are going to come from kids playing football if they play. But, I mean, it is. And I don't think it's necessarily COVID, but anything health-related that does come from any of this will be blamed on COVID. Just as we're going through now.
Hey, I've got an ingrown toenail. Is that COVID too?
Well, sure.
Dadgummit, I knew that was a problem.
Well, sure.
I need 14 days off. Tony, I need 14 days off. I need it paid too. So I need.
I tell you what, you have like a Jay Barker agent, or whoever Jay Barker's agent is yours, because the two of y'all have more vacation time than anyone else.
That is an absolute lie. That is an absolute lie. I cannot stand here for that, Tony. That's inaccurate.
That's not inaccurate. I mean, the only thing that has kept you in this country is the cruise line being down, because you are on a cruise every other month.
Well, I just booked a hotel about 2 hours ago on this air. When I was sitting here, I said, "Forget it, man. I'm going to the beach,
I believe
man.
it.
I forget about it. I'm going to the beach."
I know what you do when I call. As soon as I call, you're on Twitter.
I just saw some good deals, man.
Or on hotels.com and going through, and you just get them on the occasional. Yeah.
And speaking of that, and I got to run to break, but I will say this. The deals out there are incredible, whether we're talking about flights or hotels or all of the above. You can get some really super outstanding prices.
Just be careful wherever you go. Just make sure it's not a place that you have to stay for 14 days because they're going to quarantine you coming from Alabama.
Yeah, lower Alabama's okay. Hey, I got to run, Tony, man. Be good.
Roll Tide.
Right back to you. Tony helping us out there. We're going to go to Rusty in Montgomery next in Tuscaloosa. We are waiting for the Big 12 to release something in the next couple of minutes right here on the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama. Crimson Tide Sports.
Get 15% off a set of Brake Mess Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sky partially sunny this afternoon. A few scattered storms are possible through tonight. The high today 94, tonight's low 74. Tomorrow and Thursday, a mix of sun and clouds both days with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Highs between 90 and 93. I'm James Spann on the A to Z 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The host of the game, Ryan Fowler, and the host of the Martin Houston Show, Martin Houston, have combined to offer a show filled with in-depth analysis of Alabama football and more. Alabama Tradition broadcasts live on Tide 100.9 every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. and is available live and on playback on numerous affiliates around the Southeast. Check out alabamatradition.com for a list of affiliates, as well as other great content.
Rumors spreading round in that Texas town.
All right, so let's continue. We've got about 8 minutes left in the show. We're waiting for the Big 12. We'll split the time between the two final callers. Rusty Montgomery. Good afternoon, Rusty. You're in the game, man.
Hey, good afternoon, Ryan. You know, I've been listening to a lot of the talking heads all year with all the topics going on. The conferences broke down into conference-only schedules. Each conference does not need the other conference to play football. And we've been hearing this term about a czar. We don't need a czar. College football is an extracurricular activity. It's not a professional sport. Although there's 100,000 people that are making big money off of college football, they're really not involved in college, and they're just talking heads. All right, that being said, the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC are hanging on for the last resemblance of maybe being able to compete. Let's just say there's, for sure enough, a medical reason. But then let's look at, and I was listening to Greg McElroy, and I can't stand his commentary. I think he talks too much, and I think he's full of himself. And I heard 10 minutes of his wasted blowhard interview on Feinbaum today, and he wants to hear the players talk. He wants to listen to the players. Well, let's back up a minute. We've got a medical issue. All of a sudden the players were talking racial, social, and political. So we've heard the players talk. We know they want to play. But football, there again, at the college level is an extracurricular activity. And I tell you, if everybody cancels the season right now, and I haven't heard anything out of the Southeastern Conference too much other than Texas A&M, but I think that they would be doing everybody a favor to cancel the season until maybe the spring, if that happens. And I'll tell you why. Because all of this political and social stuff going on that's intertwined itself, the game of college football has been hijacked. And with it being hijacked with all these different terms, all these different presidents, coaches, etc., they're all from different backgrounds too. And they all have very heavy opinions about all of these things because they're people and they're aware. And I tell you, if you stop the season right now, you may save the viewership. You may actually save the game. Because if you don't do something right now, I think you're gonna run off fans that have been fans of this game forever. Because of the way ESPN has been advertising, this season's for justice. This has nothing to do with justice. It's college football. That's what it's always been. But ESPN is hijacking this. They're just letting people say things, and they've fallen in line with it, and they own the game. And I'm telling you, if you want to save the fans, I think that this is probably the perfect timing to just pull the plug on the season, and everybody gets what they want. Because I believe if we have a resemblance of a season and ESPN's involved in it, there's a lot of people going to be pissed off. And it's because it has nothing to do with football. It's going to be a lot of social commentary, political commentary, and we don't want that in our football.
Huh.
And
Wow, this is
and that's just as an observer. And I think that for all ages. And you know, when it comes to kids, my kids think democratically, and I'm going to let them think the way they choose to think. They're free people. Just because I'm their parent doesn't mean I own them. I had the opportunity to raise my children, love my children, and present them to the world, and they will carry on because this will be their world as we move along. So I'm not going to tell my kids how to think. I'm going to allow them to be their own person. And I think that's fair and reasonable. And when I'm sitting here looking at all these topics going on with the season, I think everybody gets what they want. Unfortunately, all these people that elbowed their way into college football and become millionaires and owning the game itself, ESPN, I think that if they take a ass whipping financially, that's not my problem. That's the position they put themselves into. And they will have to figure it out. But I think that this may be a blessing in disguise. And I know a lot of people are disgruntled, but I would hate to see a season start and players get sick because there's something to the pandemic thing. We haven't seen it maybe at the levels of some of the other states, and I'm skeptical at best of a lot of the stuff we're hearing. But at the same time, I think this may be the blessing that kind of calms the masses. And we've heard the term after the election, things will change. Well, maybe that's what's best. Maybe that's exactly what we need right now. Because, I mean, listening to your last caller, and yesterday, I made a comment. I mean, you know, where does all this religion and politics and race come into the college football game? See how stupid it's gotten? I mean, that is absolutely stupid for all those topics to be in our game.
I'm literally out of time. I've got.
I know you are, man. I appreciate your time. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Rusty Montgomery, Robert Brookwood. I got final 3 minutes. Robert, you're a big fan. I mean, you may be the president of the I-Man fan club in Tuscaloosa. How are you today?
Well, man. By the way, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man.
Good to hear from you again. I've had a rough 2 days. Things going on, but maybe we're finally getting back on track. Storm knocked you out up here Friday, and then yesterday I had an AC go out. Miserable time of year for AC to go out, but hey, I think we're on the way to recovery. Anyway, I like our man, but I don't agree with his philosophy there of wanting college football council. We need college football. I'm not gonna lie. I will go absolutely bananas if we can't have some kind of football this fall. Other than World War II, 1944, it's none of us in our lifetime. We don't know what it's like to have a fall without football. And if high school football can get together and play football, and they're practicing right now, in fact, the season starts a week from this Friday.
Now, you've got Buddy Anderson at Vestavia has tested positive for COVID.
Yeah,
so you've got delayed up there.
It goes back that they test positive. It don't even mean they're going to get sick. I mean, once again, we carry germs on our body, but whatever. But high school football starts next Friday night, and they keep telling us, oh, you wear the mask, you're going to be all right. And, well, I don't know, man. It's frustrating, but I hope we have football. I don't want to see the SEC, the Big 12, or the ACC follow the path of the Big 10. Let them high rollers up there have mud in their face. You make the money this year with what little you can make with TV. Imagine if that's the only 3 leagues playing, Ryan. Television ratings will be off the chart.
It will be, and I think you've got some smaller teams that will be able to benefit financially.
Yes, yes. Great show, brother.
Thank you, Robert. Big thanks to all of you guys behind the scenes over there. You guys got a crowd. Brian, tell me who's all over there, man. Give me a rundown, man. You guys got a full house over there.
Well, we got myself, and then we got one of the new interns, Josh, and then obviously Tommy Paradise. So we got a good crew back here.
And Tommy's got a good-looking mask on.
He does. Wear your mask.
I tell you what, I've been thinking about it. I think he looks better with the mask on than the mask off.
I agree.
Me too. As I get the double bird. Thanks, Tommy. Roll Tide. I love you too, man. You're my boy. I don't care what anybody says about you.
Fowler, you freak.
That's right. Thank you. Fowler, you freak. All right, let's get out of here. SEC Big 10, nothing from the Big 12 yet. We'll cover tomorrow. Martin Houston gets the first shot, 6 a.m. here on Tide 100.9. Good night, T-Town.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto